Yes, good afternoon, all of you. Good to see you finally again. Okay, one more time. And good afternoon to online people also. Okay, so I think today is the last class. So farewell party कहाँ पे? आप दीजिए. अच्छा. I should have given the party. Vision should have given the party. Okay, ठीक है. अच्छा, पार्टी के लिए ही पैसे दिए थे क्या? अच्छा, okay. I will convey your message to director. कि they want one good party. रैंक निकालो, पार्टी देंगे आपको. ठीक है? Get some rank, okay, in the list, and we will throw you a party. You will ask anything, and we'll be giving it. हाँ, take my words. ऐसे कोई बात नहीं. ठीक है? हाँ, वीडियो क्या बॉन्ड लिख के आओ. ठीक है? चलो, okay. Let's start. Yes, what is schedule? What is an agenda? Case studies, okay. I think we have done couple of case studies. 2-3 classes we have done on case studies. Can anybody give me a notebook? Which case studies we have done? See, the thing is, we have discussed, let me just do the revision, that is ethical dilemma. In fact, this is a theoretical basis for all the case studies. In ethical dilemmas, we have discussed in length about what are the dilemmas, what are the different types of dilemmas. If you remember, there are 3 types of dilemmas that we have discussed. That is personal cost dilemma, and second is right versus right dilemma, and third is conjoined dilemma. Okay, personal cost is more about any kind of personal interest. Okay, be it a money or, yes, what were the other things? Money, monetary interest, material interest, any favor to family, friends, etc. That is a favoritism and nepotism, and any service condition related things. Okay, so these were some of the personal interests, and we know that personal interest or personal cost dilemma is the easiest one, because we know that we should not go by personal interest. Okay, we should focus upon the public interest. So that's for sure. And second is about right versus right dilemma. Right versus right dilemma is about conflicting of values, conflicting of 2 desirable values. That is little bit tricky dilemma, where the conflict is in between the 2 desirable values, such as development versus environment, objectivity versus compassion. In all such cases, we have also seen that as maximum as possible, try to balance it. Okay, that both the desirable things, if you can find some alternative where both the things can be incorporated, one should go for it. If it is not possible in a given case, then one should settle with something, either of the 2, and also drop few lines about the other parts also. Okay, so that's what we have discussed in case of right versus right, and third was conjoined dilemma. We have also seen that how to resolve the dilemma. How to resolve. Okay, how to resolve the dilemma. In this, we have taken, that is, steps for resolving the ethical case studies and points to be remembered. If you remember anything. Steps may, like stakeholder approach, we have seen that find out the stakeholder, find out the different ethical issues of every stakeholder, then different alternatives, all possible alternatives, whether good or bad, all alternatives we have to explore. Then we have to discuss the merit and demerit of each alternative, from bad to the worst. Okay, that is where we see the evaluation of each alternative. And then finally finding the most ethical course of action that you can think of with explanation. So this is steps we have discussed. Points to be remembered are basically nothing but the theory that we have learned in ethics. Okay, first 10 classes, 10, 12 classes, including like what we have to take into account is constitutional and legal basis of a case. Then we have to think about the administrative ethics. Administrative ethics includes two things, that is code of conduct and code of ethics. Then we have to think about the different dimensions of ethics. We have discussed almost 10 different dimensions of ethics: consequential ethics, deontological ethics. Okay, there are a lot many things. Virtue-based ethics, right-based ethics, lot many dimensions that we have seen. Okay. Finally, we have also seen that is what is the conscience. That is what do you personally think about the situation, right and wrong. So these are some of the guidelines that you can use in order to resolve the dilemma. Okay, so that's a very brief account of the steps, what are the ethical dilemmas. Apart from this, I have also given you the list, what are the common themes that are generally asked based upon the previous year's question paper. See, the thing is, we have done some, yes, can anybody give me the notebook, if at all, okay. There is a person called Ramanujan, okay. So in that, we have seen the personal cost dilemma, where the Ramanujan was a defense secretary. His son was facing some financial crisis and he has certain official obligation. So in all such cases, no matter whatever the situation is there at personal end, you should not get trapped into that situation. Okay, you should not use public office for private purpose. So we have seen that how to balance between the public duty as well as the personal interest. Okay, so that's the personal cost dilemma thing. So remember, this is a sort of formula. I'm discussing the themes. Now these themes can be asked in variety of ways. One should remember that public office cannot be used for the personal reason. Second thing, case number 2, where we have seen the case of a manager and a lady. Okay, there is a project manager, and a lady and her mother was not keeping well. So she was missing certain meetings, and her work efficiency was getting hampered. So it was case, on one side there is a efficiency, productivity at workplace or the public duties versus the empathy and compassion. Okay, so we have seen that case as a right versus right dilemma. That is, work efficiency is also important and taking care of mother is also important. In such cases, we need to find out the balanced equation. That is where we see that right versus right dilemma, two desirable things. Apart from that, in that question, there was a tail end also. There was one person who is making a remark on a woman. Okay, that he's saying that women should stay at home and she should not bother to turn to the office. So we have seen also that misogynist remark or sexist remarks, jisko bola jata hai, that is where the such kind of things keep on happening at the workplace, and how should we keep the workplace free from all such things. Okay, so these are also in comparison with this, that is a behavior of male at workplace in this case, where he has made a plain remark, versus we have seen another case where there was Mr. X and Mr. Y sort of case study we have done. There was a sexual harassment at workplace, if you remember. Okay, and we have discussed that grade-wise how your approach should be different. Like if it is a mendable behavior, where you can change the behavior, where it is not a very cognizable offense and etc., you can give them the warning. You can persuade the people, you can give them warning. But when there is a breach of law, and where there is a cognizable offense, and very serious and heinous crime, the crime cannot be negotiated. Like somebody who is making a sexual harassment at workplace, you cannot negotiate that crime. Okay, we have seen this Immanuel Kant statement, that there are certain categorical imperatives that in all situations we need to observe certain unconditional values. Okay, one of the unconditional value that the Immanuel Kant has talked is dignity of individual. So dignity of individual is an important consideration. So these are some of the cases that we have done, and then apart from that, this was the first series of case studies that we have done. इसके बाद कुछ देखा था क्या? We have done randomly in a sense that when we were discussing about whistleblowing. Okay, in whistleblowing we have taken 2-3 cases. Yes, Construction of flyover. But that was, we have seen that when to blow the whistle and when it is a responsibility on us to do the job. See, the thing is, if you yourself has given the responsibility to do certain public tasks, then you cannot blow the whistle. You cannot, it simply means that it is your power. Either you are fearful of not doing it or you have a courage to perform it. When you are not performing it and you have the full authority, it means that the ball is in your court and the blame will be pointed at you. So in these cases, what approach is required is you need to show a courage in order to move ahead with the task. But in few cases, you don't have the power. Or maybe you are a powerful person, but a particular task is related to some other department. In such cases, when you cannot prevent any misconduct from happening, or misconduct has already happened and you got to know about it, in such cases, you need to blow the whistle. Okay, blowing the whistle is important consideration to expose the corruption. But then we have seen the step-by-step procedure how to blow the whistles. Like first inform the seniors, ask them the giving in writing, then go to the superior officer, then go to the higher ups. And when you exhaust all the options, then you have to go for the whistle blowing. Again, in whistle blowing, we have seen two types, that is internal whistle blowing and external whistle blowing. Which should be the first option? Obviously, internal whistle blowing. Okay, so we have seen the merits. Again, the whistle blowing can be asked as a separate question. So these are some of the themes that we have taken. Apart from that, some previous year's question paper and rest of the other things also we have done. So the very point of revising this thing is you need to remember the themes. Whenever you are doing any case study, make a summary of what are the different themes that are emerging out of it. And if this sort of thing will come in exam, you should have a prepared answer for it. Okay, what should be the approach for this particular answer? Now, we will do some more case studies today. If you have any case study from your side in previous year's question paper that we haven't discussed and you are facing trouble, you can ask if you have at all. No. Yes, we're smart people, very intelligent. Prelims mode, prelims preparation mode is there. So I hope you remember who is the teacher. You remember me? Okay, okay, fine. So the point is, you please go through the previous year's question paper also. Although we have done ample of them, okay, ample of them we have already done it, and some of the more case studies I'll do it from my side. Okay, meantime there have been certain evidence, certain things that have happened in India, okay, as a part of society. So how is your observation, okay, after ethics class that we have left? From that time onwards, say aaj tak, okay, have you felt any difference in reading the newspaper, article, observing the things in and around the places? Because that is very important. Ultimately, the case study will be based upon that. Unless and until you brainstorm on things happening in around your surrounding, you will not able to bring very innovative answers into examination. Okay. So yes, tell me what are some of the very important ethical things that have happened in this society? Any 1, 2, 3, 4? Yes. So yes, that is one of the things that we can see. That whether, see, the thing is, objectivity of law has to be followed. If something illegal is happening, if there is a law ban something from doing, and if things are happening, so obviously you cannot blame the government for that. But if there is a sense of discrimination in it, then certainly that's not the way out. Are you understanding? We should not always criticize the government. If the law is saying ultimately the bureaucrat is supposed to follow the law, even when ideologically you may not consider it to be good. Okay, because we have seen political neutrality. We have seen the principle called as objectivity. So in political neutrality and objectivity, it says that no matter whatever your political ideology is there, you should follow the legal and constitutional things. But in that case, if some sort of misuse of power is happening, if there is a very blunt and apparent discrimination is happening, then obviously you should not keep quiet. Okay, you need to raise the voice in order to follow the objectivity. Yes, so there are implicit things in it. Secondly, the same case study can be asked from the public point of view. As a normal person of the society, how do you see this phenomena? In that case, might be your answer is a little bit different, where you have liberty to bring your personal ideology or any implicit intention behind all such activities. So there you have the scope. Apart from that, if illegally anything is happening where the power is misused in order to discriminate one community or the other, obviously you can again bring, even as a bureaucrat, you can bring your perspective. But again, way of doing it, maybe not publicly going and not following the orders of seniors. It's more of a formal suggestion that you are giving it to the senior, giving it to the higher ups, giving it to the ministry. Okay, and this is how you have to bring the answer. Yes, that is one thing. Yes, apart from that. Jallikattu, yes, that is where basically the debate of culture versus man-animal conflict, or for that matter, the culture versus the tradition. Okay, so basic theme about the Jallikattu is, yes, certainly there is a component of law also, that is cruelty to animal act. Now the very important issue here is the objectivity of law has to be followed. There are two broadly, if you see the picture, there is a law, that is prevention of cruelty to animal. Now the law says that if any cruelty happening to the animal, for whatever reason, whether it is a traditional, non-traditional, forget about Jallikattu, the spirit of law has to be followed. If you are torturing it, now we will come to the Jallikattu, whether that play endorse torturing the animal or not, etc., etc. Keeping that aside, if there is a torture and if the law says that torture is not correct, then you have to stop it. Okay, because with the spirit of the law, it cannot be allowed. Are you understanding? Now, second debate here. So here, first debate is very important. Just now I have mentioned, no matter whatever your personal ideology, if law is saying something and if it is in place, you need to objectively follow the law. Now, second thing, there can be a debate that this different sorts of culture versus the modern values. Like say, for example, here it may be a traditional sport, okay, based upon the culture and religious values versus the animal rights, okay. Now, this is a very difficult area of ethics. This is not only in case of man and animal. If you see this temple entry movement of women, the same thing is there. There are certain traditions and then modern liberal values. If you see the patriarchy overall, all the things that happens under the disguise of patriarchy versus modern liberal values. Now, in this debate, one of the point which is many a times are forwarded, because something is existing for a long period of time, therefore we should respect it. Now, this cannot be a justification. Okay, yes, we understand that something which is there for a long period of time, which is a part and parcel of culture, has to be continued. Okay, we are not saying. In fact, Article 2930 says preservation of culture. Then 25 to 26, 27, 28 says that you can preserve the religion also. But then there are certain restrictions also. Under the name of religion and culture, you cannot like put animal or human beings to the disadvantage and can justify what is unjustifiable in the modern day. So in this case, when we say that something which is continuing, yes, we need to uphold, but if something which is there for a long period of time, and it can be a part of discrimination also, it can be a part of unhealthy practice also. So all such unhealthy practices, whether it is a triple talaq, whether it is a entry of women into the temples, whether it is cruelty to animals, not only Jallikattu, but any form. Like there are, like in Karnataka, there is some other case. Yes. So there are different forms in which the animal cruelty. Again, saying that Jallikattu is cruelty to animal is also not correct. Okay. The form of Jallikattu that has emerged in ancient time was very different from the form that is being practiced in the contemporary time. So we need to also clarify that yes, we have to respect the culture, but under the name of culture, we cannot like continue the practice. So this theme you should remember, that is tradition versus the modern values, the law versus the spirit of law versus actual implementation of law. This kind of conflicts will come again and again. Okay, these are otherwise also a man-animal conflict के बहुत सारे cases है where we are being terming the animal as a vermin. Vermin, you understand? Nuisance creating. Yes. So there also a lot of ethical issues are involved where there is a barricade. Barricade नहीं है वो तो मतलब forest guards are given. In fact, that documentary also came. So that man and animal conflict is going to be an important thing. Environment and development is going to be important thing, but their answer is very easy, that is sustainable development is the way forward. Yes, that's the second thing. और कुछ हुआ था ethically? Okay. It is more of a political conflict. See, yes, political conflict has to be seen from the context of constitution. It has to be seen from the context of legal interpretations or constitutional interpretations and verdicts of Supreme Court. Okay. There is also something called as political morality. There is a word political morality or constitutional morality. Now, constitutional morality and political morality means that whether the spirit behind the constitution is being observed or not. Sometimes it is quite possible that law, we have seen that law cannot exhaustively cover every single situation. In all such situations, we have to, like sometimes we say that preamble is used as a sort of a guiding light, where there is a gray areas in constitution, where we can interpret the different meanings of constitution by referring to the preamble, because preamble refers to the spirit and the philosophy and the aspirations of the freedom fighters, etc. So this way we have to also see that if there are any political controversies, yes, in political controversies, spirit of constitution has to be. In that case, if you see the S.R. Bomai case, okay, governor's case, yes. So you can certainly make a remark about the political morality and the real intention. We have seen in political thing, we have seen one thing, that is means and end conflict. Okay, politics can be played this way also, that is end justify means. Okay, that Machiavellian sense of politics or the Kautilyan sense of politics. But there can be, we have seen the Gandhian school of thought where the means are also important as that of the ends. So the intention behind doing the things is also important. So you have to open up both the sides of the coin and you can discuss. Yes, certainly these kind of questions are also asked bureaucratic sides mein. Or, yes? Xenophobic attitude of American government, not Indian government? Okay. India is secular? When the priest becomes a chief minister? Huh? We have not allowing Rohingyas, yes. There is a citizenship bill is pending. There are serious consideration with respect to citizenship bill. Okay. Yes, there are certain considerations. We have also seen that ethics in international relations. Okay. Otherwise, also that's very important. That is with the Trump administration. Okay, that issue with regard to immigration, issues with regard to, yes, xenophobia, that is attack that has happened on Indian there, where a person has shouted that, like something what we did in 1942, Simon, go back. So the situation in America is Indian go back, okay, because that is how, where we see the xenophobic or anti-racial things are happening. In fact, yesterday also in, I think in Australia, there was an attack. Yes, there was an attack in some country on Nigerian people also. Some country. Okay. Our country only. Okay. Yes. So there has to be an objectivity in observing the things. When we do it, okay, it's justified because for some other reason. Okay, so yes, certainly xenophobic In fact, there has been an emerging trend of conservatism and this right wing everywhere. So this will be again a common theme. Okay, whether it is a Europe, whether it is America, Latin America, Asian countries. Okay, so this thing is certainly common, and these are also can be linked with the human right theories. These are linked with the ethics in international relationship. Okay, yes. Then गुरमेहर कौर करके कोई हीरोइन का नाम है किसे? हाँ बोल रहे हैं. गुरमेहर कौर का क्या इशू था? Yes, Pakistan did not kill my dad, but the war. बहुत डीप था वो वैसे, मतलब इसलिए थोड़ा कंफ्यूजन भी हो गया. If you remember, we have done the ethics of war. Ethics of war देखा था या नहीं देखा था? Just war theory. Okay, we have seen. See, the thing is, we have discussed this in international relation. At one side there was a war, and second side there was a peace. And something that we have also seen, that is doctrine of just war. Now something, if you see the ethical aspect, it is being said that no war is a good war and no peace is a bad peace. Okay, if you see the war from a very humanistic and liberal perspective, it brings an obviously the loss human casualties. The human casualties, when we become too nationalistic, we say that it is enemy versus our people, and we say that when the enemy got killed, so we take a sigh of relief. But if you bring the humanistic perspective, it's essentially a killing of human beings. Second is, it brings a lot of economic losses. There are other things also that we have seen. There is a lot many. You must have done in the world history also that there are social implications of World War I and II. There are political implications, economic implications. There is a cascading effect. So war, in fact, the conventional wars has been now more or less redundant because of the United Nations and rest of the other institutional mechanisms. Peace is still an utopia. So in that case, we have also discussed about what is a just war. Now, what the Gurmehr Kaur was saying is that Pakistan did not kill my dad, but the war did. Now, the focus of attention was not on the first part of the statement. Okay, that Pakistan did not kill my dad. War did. What she essentially was trying to say is a conflict which gave rise to the war-like situation. That conflict is primarily the reason, and the root cause of stopping the war, any war from happening. The soldiers are being killed. It's not her dad only. Every day, every single week, we see that number of soldiers are getting killed. Now, we cannot take a sigh of relief. Look, there are 4 people who have got killed, and ours only 2 died. So we should take a pride. Like, look, it's a 4:2 ratio or 1:2 ratio. Okay, so this sort of thing should not be there. And what she was essentially trying to say is not about that Pakistan is a very good country and India is unnecessarily waging the war. It's more about the conflict situation, the core part which is responsible for the war. Unless and until rectified, we cannot overcome. We cannot simply say that this country is bad and that country is bad. Okay, so that's more of a very deeper analysis. So that also has to be seen. Now, this is one part of ethical case. There was a second interesting ethical case in that, because somebody has said and voiced her concern, what has followed after that is a more unethical. Okay, that's the second part of ethical consideration. Yes, what followed? What I'm referring to? Yes, the way she has been targeted, the way she has been abused, the character assassination, the abuse, all sort of things. You cannot read their Twitter and jo comments rehte hain niche ke. It's next to impossible to read. The threats also, so the live threats, the psychological discouragement, the verbal abuse, so all sort of things. So this is something that we see that the moral basis on the social media also. So that's also a part of ethical consideration, ki social media and the ethical behavior on the social media. So there is certainly one extreme thing can be banned on social media, and another extreme is that keep it more free and liberal. Both things cannot be adopted. Okay, complete ban is not expected, obviously, and complete liberty is also not expected. So there has to be a certain reasonable restriction. There has to be certain regulation. Now again, what is happening is under the name of regulation and national security, the poor laws are being framed. This is 66A tha. Okay, and then some of the provisions of the law are again being used in order to settle the scores, like for the political vendetta, for curbing the freedom of speech and expression. Are you understanding? See, the regulation is important, but what is meant by regulation? You need to have a law, you need to have certain institutional mechanisms in order to see that such abuse and so-called troll should not appear on the social media. So this sort of regulations required institutional and legal framework, but while making this institutional, there has to be an impartiality and objectivity with respect to framing of the laws. So that's again a general point that you should remember about the social media, the troll, immoral activities that happen. We have seen internal security में भी हमने देखा था ये. Okay, social media and what are the ethical issues? Okay, with respect to the cyber security, etc. Yes, any other issue? Anti-Romeo squad, what they are calling. Okay, anti-Romeo. Now, नाम भी देखो Romeo है, Romeo और Juliet. Why it cannot be anti-Ram, this Ram and Sita वाला, Hir Ranja वाला, या फिर कृष्णा राधा वाला, हाँ एंटी कृष्णा, हाँ मतलब कृष्णा भी मतलब अब पता नहीं, आई डोंट वांट टू, मैं करूँ तो साला कैरेक्टर ढीला है, ठीक है, एंड क्या है, हाँ वो गाना है ना उसमें, हाँ रासलीला करते हैं, ओके, यस, रिलीजियस सेंटिमेंट्स नहीं है, बट यस सर्टेनली. तो वहाँ पे यू सी द थिंग्स. यस, व्हाट आर द क्वेश्चन? एंटी रोमियो स्क्वाड में आपको इथिकल इश्यूज क्या क्या लगते हैं? व्हाट आर द इथिकल इश्यूज दैट you think? We are not saying what is right and wrong. We are talking about what are the issues that are emerging. Then we can discuss about personal liberty. Yes, certainly. Personal liberty versus the collectivism. There's a value conflicts, first of all. First lecture or second lecture, value conflicts that we have seen. That is a collectivism versus individual freedom. Yes, that is certainly. Traditional values versus modern value, or collectivism versus the personal liberty. That's one thing. Yes, what else? Moral policing, yes. See, the moral policing is getting a new shape. Okay, that is what we have to learn here. In the garb of the legal and yes, certainly. So the thing is, sometimes when it gets sanctioned from the state authority, it gets justified. And this is a very difficult situation when the state and the government bodies get involved into something. It's very difficult to question the initiatives of government. Okay, now here there is you need to be a very, very cautious while writing the things, because see, the thing is, when you are writing the moral policing, you have a lot of liberty, because legally you can take the legal basis and try and say that legally personal freedom is guaranteed, etc., etc. Constitution give you this right, that right, and therefore such things should not be there. Moral policing we have discussed in length. Now here a state is trying to directly, indirectly support the moral policing. Now the dilemma becomes, when something is legally and constitutionally and institutionally getting justified, how we should question it, or should we question it at all or not? So what do you think about this in this particular situation, when the government directly, indirectly, the institutional framework is supporting? Again, there is also discrimination also within that also. Anti-Romeo भी मतलब particular लोगों को ही, हाँ, हाँ, उसमें एक है कि आज या कल के उसमें रिपोर्ट में था कि एक रोमियो को पकड़ा गया, फिर रोमियो पुलिस का भांजा निकला या बहन का बेटा है. हाँ वो that was the second case. One case was the police का nephew or niece was there, and then police got to know, obviously he is अपना ही है, तो bribe दे के छोड़ दिया उसको. So there is also issue with regard to impartial and objective implementation of the things. Okay, first of all, whether it should be there or not, that is one thing. Second is, if it is there, then there is no discrimination. Third में ये था कि those people, traditionally those people who were doing the moral policing, one of the solutions that we have said then was the police in fact try to secure the freedom and liberty of individual. Now here, when they are given the direction, rather than securing the individual liberty of person, they have in fact given the direction to preserve the tradition. Now, this is a very tricky situation. In all such cases, how do you proceed? In that case, in fact, those people, traditional peoples who were trying to impose some sort of culture, now their spirit is got emboldened. Because something they were doing covertly, now they are doing, yes, overtly or in a more intense form. And to an extent, taking a law and order situation into hand and causing disruptions, and they are justifying it. So that sort of things also has to be looked into. I hope points are clear. Aadhaar bill, yes, privacy issue, security issue, you can say that. But the thing is, if the government is coming up with certain mechanism through which they can secure the privacy, through which they can maintain that yes, security, basically this cyber security, then there should not be any debate about it. But it's simple, it's easier said than done. There are a lot many issues. In fact, yesterday this, क्या नाम है इनका, स्वाति, साक्षी, हाँ साक्षी, was गर्लफ्रेंड नहीं है, वाइफ है, हाँ धोनी की जो वाइफ है, उन्होंने कल, हाँ साक्षी रावत, ओके, साक्षी सिंह ट्वीट के नाम साक्षी रावत है, हाँ, उन्होंने एक ट्वीट किया टू रविशंकर प्रसाद, ओके, रविशंकर वो नहीं है, श्री वाला नहीं, ओके, रविशंकर प्रसाद मिनिस्टर, यस, आईटी मिनिस्टर. क्या हुआ था, व्हाट वाज द इशू? Yes, Aadhaar details were, yes, the photographs was taken, and it was not photographs. Initially, it was thought that he was just going for the Aadhaar enrollment. But then it was also found that his fingerprints and everything, whatever the private details are there, okay, that has been made public. Okay, now this has breached the security aspect. The wife tweeted that this is something that Aadhaar is not tamper-proof. Okay, and in all such ways it can be exposed. Personal information is being put on the public platform. So yes, in such cases, we should have a cautious approach. See, everything that is initiated by the government, you should not criticize. Okay, you can find the faults, you can find the lacunas, you can find the difficulties, but you should not say that the whole idea itself is wrong. Okay, because there are issues with respect to identification, there are issues with respect to the ghost beneficiaries, duplicate things, identification issues. So Aadhaar is an essential thing. So rather than saying Aadhaar itself has to be wind up, there can be a better, the concern has to be addressed. So there has to be a balance thing between the between different things. Yes, any other thing? Demonetization. Okay, demonetization. There are all sides to it. In fact, we have discussed demonetization in internal security classes. On the moral side, what we can say is all the stakeholders who are getting affected directly and indirectly, and the consequences on each stakeholder should have been taken into account. Okay, so any kind of the policy, we have discussed in good governance some of the points. In good governance, we have seen consensus orientation versus the majoritarian decision or authoritarian decision. Okay, so rather than authoritarian decision, there has to be a more consensus. Okay, so any kind of a political issue, you should not write off the debate completely, but then in a democracy, there has to be a little bit more deliberation and discussion before arriving to the particular decision. Okay, so that has to be approached. Okay, that is it. Any other issue, if you can remember, so you can tell. Decriminalizing the suicide. Okay, yes. Certainly, that's in positive steps that we see. In fact, that is where we see that in fundamental, initially the IPC was criminalizing it. Now, since it has decriminalized, so it was a double whammy for a person who was committing the suicide. First of all, it was a mental imbalance, and then the legal hassles that the person is going through. So there was a double whammy. So what was required is to understand the root cause behind the mental disimbalance and providing the counseling, psychological counseling and those things. Yes, certainly. Yes, any other?
memorandum of procedure that the government was trying to veto the national security, like they can reject any judge on the garb of national security.
Judge.
Yes, the appointment of any judge.
See, the thing is, in those cases, if you see,
Court had rejected that we won't include this national security clause.
see, there has to be a more objectivity to the thing. National security has become so vague term. See, simply saying national security is important. There is no going away from the fact that national security is not important. Yes, certainly it is important. And if you see the judiciary by and large, it's not like last 60, 65 years of judicial functioning also make us realize that everything is not good within the judiciary. Okay, there are issues of corruption, there are a lot many other issues. And the collegium system is not foolproof that only the moral and so-called good judges are only selected. Okay, we have seen that in many of the cases where the judges are involved in corruption and other illegitimate and immoral activities. So in such cases, we require a better foolproof system of selecting the judges. So in that, if you see that traditionally the criteria were very opaque, the system was opaque, it was not transparent, the collegium system, it's more about the nepotism, which was jo uncle's judge syndrome बोला जाता है. Okay, that was what was prevalent within the judiciary system. So in that case, yes, transparency is required first, A, and B is there has to be certain more criteria apart from seniority. Seniority criteria has to be there, but the merit also has to be there, and integrity also has to be there. Now, national security becomes a part of thing where there is a lot of opacity on what basis you are going to interpret whether a person is a threat to the national security or not. And most of the time, this decision are taken by the IB and the MHA. Now, there is again a political intervention, and in order to maintain the judicial autonomy, okay, they have come up with this, that a word like national security becomes too vague, and it will be very difficult to objectively establish the fact that this person is threat to the national security. Okay, so that has to be seen in that light. Yes, any other case? Yes, yes, certainly important one. The case of Padmavati and the attack on Sanjay Leela Bhansali. Okay, so this is a Karni group, Karni Sena, kuch tha? Karni Sena. See, this again a debate is about traditional culture, the historic things versus the freedom of speech and expression. Now, in this sense, yes, again, there should not be a blatant distortion of culture and historic facts also. But then, is there any proof that Sanjay Leela Bhansali was doing it? And if at all doing it, then there are legal remedies for it. Okay, so first of all, taking a law and order into hands and vandalizing the property, vandalizing people, attacking on the people is certainly not justified way. So first of all, in short term, all such things has to be prevented. Second issue is with respect to the culture versus the freedom of speech and expression. Yes, freedom of speech and expression is important because it's a core part of art. It's a core part of artistic innovation, creativity. So there has to be a space for the art. But then there should not be blatant distortion of something. Now, this cannot be assumed one. I am feeling that he has distorted and this and that, and therefore I think that it is not correct. If you feel that something is going against the law and something which is not permissible, you go and file the FIR against the XYZ person, and the law will take its course. If it is involved, they will ask them to not to distort such facts, or there is a censor board also. Then there are going to do measures will be taken accordingly. So there are democratic means of redressal of grievances. Okay, so we are not saying that freedom of speech and expression should be there without any restrictions. There are already restrictions are in place, but still here freedom of speech and expression should be given more importance, because under the name of so-called restrictions, the people are taking, and every now and then they are coming up and trying to curb this. So there is a more need to protect the freedom of speech and expression from the so-called fringe elements of the society. Okay. उसमें सेंसर बोर्ड का नाम लिया तो और एक है तो लिपस्टिक बिहाइंड द बुरखा करके कुछ मूवी आया था, क्या था? लिपस्टिक लिपस्टिक अंडर द बुरखा कुछ हाँ मूवी आया था. यस, देर आर लॉट मेनी थिंग्स. Now the censor board I think has not given the nod for it, or maybe they have cut lot many clips. This is just one case. There can be a lot many cases where the censor board, same thing has happened. So here also, when we are adopting a criteria, a censor board is adopting a criteria, the moral basis that they are using, that this is against the culture, that has to be debated a lot in the society, that what is moral and what is immoral, okay? And what is just something which is, again, we see that this patriarchal mindset getting reflected, and something which can be a part of modern India, or the new India, but under the garb of this culture and patriarchy, they are being cut. So that also has to be looked into. Okay, so these are some of the things that has happened, and generally, if you are keeping your eyes, ear and nose तो open ही रहता है सांस लेने के लिए, ठीक है? और क्या बोलते हो? हाँ, mind open, yeah? हाँ, yes, from Assam, she has been targeted. Yes, yes. Fatwa was issued, but it is being also said that fatwa was not issued later on. There was news was coming. Yes, so certainly this should be seen in the modern perspective. So if you remember these all points, okay, the case study will not be very difficult. Okay, you should keep doing this exercise every time. तो थोड़ा सा एक फॉर्मल केस स्टडीज लेते हैं कुछ. Yes, there are, yes, any doubt that we have, otherwise we can discuss case studies. Okay. See, Babri Masjid demolition and all those cases, there are 2-3 angles. One is legal angle to the dispute and legal settlement. And second is broadly out of the court settlement. If there is a mutual consensus between the two parties for the out of court settlement. Now, court never was interested in settling the case legally, because it was not getting settled out of the court settlement, so called. So therefore it was essential that legal interpretation has to be brought in. Now in all such cases, what we have seen for past 65 years is legal settlements are also not very effective. Although the legal verdict will come, because when the people's sentiments are involved, culture is involved, religion is involved, even when the legal verdict comes, people will continue to believe and do what they essentially believe in. So in this case, it is all the more important that the religious figures from both the sides should settle, because if the verdict will come out of the mutually agreed settlement, that will be good for the society as a whole. When there will be a legal interpretation, there is a tendency that not accepting such decision. But when the religious heads themselves are telling to their people that this is what has been the settlement. So that's the two broader sides of it. And apart from that, there are communal angles to also, that politicization of बाबरी मस्जिद इशू और मंदिर तो बना के ही रहना है, अब तो बनेगा ही मतलब बोल तो रहे. हाँ. So these are the things. Yes. Let me take some question. Okay. There was one question which was a very offbeat question, which was asked in 2015. Okay. This was a disaster management question. Disaster management in a sense that disaster is happening. That is a landslide. Think of the Uttarakhand area where the disaster is happening. Okay, I'll read the question so that you can just follow. Take a cue. There is a disaster. All of you are here? Yes. The disaster-prone state is having the frequent landslide, forest fires, crowd bursts, flash floods, earthquakes. Some of them are seasonable and often unpredictable. This is a general statement. The magnitude of disaster is always unanticipated one. During one such season of cloudburst, caused the devastating flood, the landslides leading into the higher casualties. There was a major damage to the infrastructure, road, bridges, and the power generating units. This led to the more than uh, some 10,000 pilgrims, the tourists, and other local areas trapped inside in different routes and locations. The people who have trapped in the area are as follows. Okay, so this was just like there was a disaster and some people were trapped. So write who were the trapped inside, and then they have asked the chronology that whom do you rescue first and why. Okay. Senior citizens, patients in hospital. Have we discussed this question? No. Okay, right. Senior citizens, patients in hospitals, women and children, hiker, 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 tourist, tourist, ruling party, रूलिंग पार्टी मेंबर लिखो, रूलिंग पार्टीज लिखा है, रीजनल प्रेसिडेंट्स along with families, additional chief secretary of neighboring state, and prisoners in jail. Okay, these are category of people they have mentioned who have trapped inside the disaster. Some landslide, cloudburst leading into the floods and the landslides. So some people are trapped. Senior citizens, women and children, political party members, yes, कौन कौन है अभी? Secretary, chief secretary of neighboring state. Yes. Huh? Prisoners in jail. Patients in hospital. Tourist. Regional president along with family. Yes, now we have to see your resources are limited, or maybe even if you have the resources, you cannot take all of them at once. Okay, there has to be an chronology, or maybe you cannot, since you cannot take all of them at once. So the question is being asked, as a civil service officer of the state, what would be the order in which you will rescue these people and why? Okay, what should be the order? So take 5 minutes. Order and the reasons. पूरी की पूरी order, एक दो नहीं है. Okay. Senior citizens, women and children, political party members, chief secretary of neighboring state, prisoners in jail, patients in hospital, hiker, tourists, ruling party members, regional president along with their family. How do you write the answer? Okay, first write. एडिशनल चीफ सेक्रेटरी है यहाँ पे. Does it matter the word additional chief secretary? Going to make any difference? Yes, the question is also asking the reasons why. क्या टेबल बनाया आपने? शो में ट्री डायग्राम बनाया है इन्होंने. अच्छा. गुड गुड. अच्छा लिखा. हाँ yes, you need time. This was asked in 2015, but we will see that what we can, how we should approach such questions. Lawyers are also trapped. Last. Okay. Why they are liars? इसलिए lawyers. All liars are good liars. Okay, good liar. That's it, Tommy. Yes, let's discuss. Are you done, all of you? ब्रेनस्टॉर्म स्टॉर्म आता है नहीं आता है दिमाग में कभी? हाँ, आ जाता है. आ गया. ठीक है, चलो आपसे ही चालू कर दे फिर. Yes. First senior citizens, okay. See, let him say, we will arrange then accordingly. Senior citizens first, huh? Then patients, okay. Then women and children. मन से बोल रहे हो? हाँ. हाँ? Tourists, okay. Then prisoners, okay. Regional president, okay. Chief secretary, Then ruling party. हाइकर, ओके. एडिशनल सेक्रेटरी कहाँ पे रखना चाहिए? ऊपर, लास्ट में. हाँ, नंबर मत छोड़ दो. ऊपर, बहुत ऊपर चाहिए या बहुत नीचे चाहिए? व्हाट? थर्ड. ओके, थर्ड लास्ट. ओके. व्हाई एडिशनल चीफ सेक्रेटरी? So they are, that's why we should send them first, because they are the managers who can, maybe they will make the arrangement for the rescuing the people. Yes. not afterwards, but making an arrangement of rescuing the people from the disaster. Yes, see that there are two things here. First of all, he is from a neighboring state. So it means that administrative machinery of the state, which is responsible for management of the disaster of the state, is not disrupted. समझ में आ रहा है? ये इतना लंबा ऐसे ही नहीं लिखा हुआ है कि मतलब मजा नहीं आ रहा है उनको इसलिए थोड़ा सा एक हाथ दो लंबा है. फिर लिखा है एडिशनल चीफ सेक्रेटरी. उसमें उस एरिया में भी चीफ सेक्रेटरीज आर आल्सो इंटैक्ट. If this would have been the chief secretary of the state, okay, you should not say that he should be there should not be discrimination there. He is required because he is the head. And he may help the administration to work. Otherwise, the morale of the system will get affected when the chief is not there. There is a lot of fear among the people. There is a fear among the society. So he needs to be sent back in order to maintain the morale, because when the chief is not there, so the whole organization get disrupted. We are not saying here in general. I'm saying that how you should look towards different things. Okay, so यहाँ पे एक तो लिखा है neighboring state का, second लिखा है additional chief secretary. So can be settled बाद में. ठीक है, ऐसे ही डिस्कस करते बाद में हम लगा देते. What about these two things, regional president and ruling party? फर्स्ट, एकदम फर्स्ट. हाँ, वाई? Help the others. Okay, fine. So why other people cannot? Additional chief secretary can also help. Ruling party also can help. Yes, family has to be treated separately from the regional president. Yes, what do you think? Well, tell me the criteria. If they want to be stayed back for a quite time, or they should be sent immediately after some emergency, like 2-3 this obvious ones, senior citizens, and they have gone. Reason बताओ मुझे, हम place find out कर लेंगे. What should be the consideration? हाँ, ruling party member, regional presidents. हाँ, अच्छा ruling party बताओ आप. हाँ, हाँ, ठीक है. हाँ, हाँ. नो कॉन्फिडेंस मोशन वो हो जाएगा, इसलिए ठीक है, सरकार गिर जाएगी. हाँ. So you mean to say that political representatives comes first before the citizens? No. Yes, before regional only. After that, who all you are sending after? Okay, no, let's come to regional party. We'll talk. Yes, she is saying that because they are also very important, and therefore the democracy will collapse. The institution will collapse, or temporarily. Okay, fine. Yes. Any other reason? First, let's talk about what can be the different perspectives of people towards looking at them, if they rescued early and if they rescued late, and what should be the consideration? Rescue. अच्छा, अभी तक नहीं है, अब फिर बिल पास हो जाएगा वहां तक, मतलब ऑपरेशन. So disaster will plan and policy will happen after disaster has happened. Geography में pre disaster management कुछ पढ़ा है, नहीं पढ़ा? There is a Sendai protocol, okay, which says that now post disaster नहीं है, pre disaster हमें पहले we should get ready. अच्छा, उनको जल्दी जल्दी भेज दो, पॉलिसी बना लो, लॉ पास कर दो. Yes, I agree to her point. और कोई point है? Yes, more of. हाँ. Okay. And what about this ruling party members? अरे रूलिंग पार्टी मतलब दे आर इन गवर्नमेंट. See the, okay, fine. What do you expect from political representatives and political leaders? They should show more responsibility. Should they come first in a row or should they? Yes, your point is agree, but see here, in fact, you can say that in order to maintain the trust of the people, are you understanding? The trust of the people will be there that citizen come first and they can shoulder the larger responsibility, they can share. In fact, as a political leaders, they can demonstrate in both the ways that putting the citizen first to rescue, there also they can in fact involve the people, they can as a political representative there where the disaster happened, they can help the people in killing the fear, insecurity amongst the people who have been stuck there, because they are supposed to be carrying more wisdom than the common man. So they need to be show more responsibility there. Okay. Okay, let's now take into account. एक बता दो लास्ट वाला prisoners को कब करना चाहिए? Reason बताओ, मतलब जो भी reason है. हाँ, yes, you. You are saying something? No. Okay. Good. Huh? Huh. Okay. Interesting point. Prisoners should be little late or little early? Little late. कैसे? They are already criminals. Huh. Good. Or then we can. Yeah. Judiciary को मतलब. Yes, she's saying that they are already criminal. Why we should be so worried about them? पहले तो जो innocent लोग हैं उनको निकालो, ये तो prisoners में already है. What do you think about this? Yes, prisoner is a trap. Prisoner in a jail. See, in disaster, what should be the criteria? Vulnerability should be the criteria. Yes. See, they are not vulnerable by their physical capacity, but they are vulnerable because of confinement. They cannot run tomorrow if the bridge is collapsing, because, see, you should introduce this case study by saying that the criteria that I'm going to apply is a vulnerability criteria. That whether the people in their individual capacity can sustain themselves in disaster-like situation. Okay. Now, if you see the hiker, they are the most, yes, who can sustain themselves. So, and in fact, they can help the others also to rescue from the situation. So, the first you can simply go, obviously, the prisoners, patients in hospitals. Okay, so they cannot sustain. Already the vulnerability is very high. Disaster is happening. Okay, so lot many things are there. So yes, patients from the hospital, then senior citizens, children. You can separate, or maybe the women and children. You will not go wrong, because this is a fashion that we have to take women into consideration, obviously. But अगर आप लगा सकते हो तो ये भी criteria लगा सकते हो. If you want to take it to the next level, those strong women or those women who are matlab, obviously the taking care of the children, so they can be rescued, and some of them can be waited. So यहाँ पे देखो एक vulnerability में most vulnerable people we are talking about here. Yes, patients in hospital, senior citizens, women and children, and prisoners in jail. They are not physically vulnerable, but they are vulnerable. Vulnerable because of their confinement. Yes, we are coming. Tourists should be, I feel that tourists should be after prisoners in jail. Yes, but the thing is, there is always an innate thing of self-defense mechanism where at least you can go and hide somewhere where things are not happening. Here you cannot move only. Are you understanding? एक अपनी एक इंडिविजुअल कैपेसिटी रहती है कि कहीं छिप जाना, कहीं पे रेस्क्यू लेना, कहीं पे चले जाना. आर यू अंडरस्टैंडिंग? So yes, certainly these 4 people. हाँ. No, see the thing is when you are using what criteria that you are using is more important. If you are thinking that the economic thing of India tourist के वजह से जो है वो affected तो वो बहुत आगे चला जाएगा. Okay, तो vulnerability है उसके बाद tourist. Then tourists you can give the reasons. Tourists are new people to the area, so they are also vulnerable. See, they are vulnerable because they are not. Yes, they are not local people. Okay, so they do not know the geomorphology of the area. Okay, and what are the different local tactics in order to like come. Yes, yes. Huh? See, but we are saying that if you as a person will be put in any vulnerable situation, be it not in India, in US, in Africa, and at least you will have some sense at your individual level what is dangerous, what is not dangerous. You are not immobile. You are at least mobile. You can find some places. But in case of prisoners, you cannot do anything even if you know everything. समझ में आ रहा है इसलिए. So these are some of the vulnerable sections 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the order is that patients, senior citizens, women and children, prisoners, and tourists. The next that we can think of is obviously, yes, regional presidents, chief secretaries of neighboring state. See, again, we will see that from last se aate abhi. Hacker will be the last. Ruling party, I feel, is the second last because you can see that they are responsible. Yes, they can, in fact, maintain the trust of the public. Okay, they are having the larger wisdom and larger responsibility. उसके बाद आप इतना ज़्यादा मतलब ऐसे मैकेनिकल नहीं है, इसमें आगे पीछे थोड़ा सा हो सकता है. ठीक है, what reasons you are giving, maybe you can bring additional chief secretary or the regional president. You can give according reasons for it. Okay, regional president should become little bit before than the additional secretary because regional president of that particular area may help in some other way. Okay, so that should be the. So while introducing the case study, you should talk about the criteria should not be whether he is primarily who is more important should be based upon the vulnerability rather than on the basis of the kind of the post he holds. Okay, the weakest one, etc. So this was one case study. Okay, next case study is anybody has 2016 paper? 2016 paper, recent one. Nobody has a paper. You have? If my own family is stuck there, where should we put in the order? Very interesting question. How do you answer? In fact, such kind of questions are opportunity for you to, in fact, tell the examiner that how. Category, okay. Yes. See, एक ये हो सकता है कि मैं पहले निकाल दूंगा तो वो आपको ही पता चलेगा कि ये इथिकली नेपोटिज्म टाइप वाला थिंग हो गया. तो आप बोलोगे कि ये पेपर 4 है, फैमिली को लेट में है. फैमिली आई विल रिमूव इन द एंड. आपको लगेगा बहुत मतलब बहुत ज़्यादा इथिक्स मैंने वो करके आया हूँ बिकॉज आई हैव पुट माई फैमिली लास्ट. But again, you have been a very utopian in nature. Ki you are trying to befool the examiner. That's also obviously coercive, and that's not correct. You have to say that the vulnerability of the family, as per this categorization, will be decided. If a family member is a senior citizen, he will be treated first as a citizen and not as a family member. So vulnerability of the family, the criteria of vulnerability and weakness, that will be applied. If he is a senior citizen, if he is a patient, he will be removed, in spite of the fact that he is a family member. Are you understanding? Yes, 17 paper? 16, 17. यस हाँ ब्रेक ब्रेक किस लिए चाहिए आज कुछ हुआ ही नहीं है ठीक है देते हैं एक क्वेश्चन करके देंगे इमोशनली ट्रैप कर रहे हो इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस का गलत तरीके से यूज किया जा रहा है यस आई एम रीडिंग दिस क्वेश्चन ऑटो टिल्ट नहीं है क्या इसमें कुछ नोटिफिकेशन करूं मैं स्क्रॉल हाँ these days mobiles are DNA मोबाइल टच करने के लिए आधार ऑथेंटिकेशन यस आई एम रीडिंग दिस क्वेश्चन You are a young, aspiring, and sincere employee in government office working as an assistant to director of your department. Since you have joined recently, you need to learn and progress. Luckily, your senior is very kind and and ready to train you in your job. He is very intelligent, well-informed person having a knowledge of various departments. In short, you respect your boss and looking forward to learn a lot from him. Since you have good tuning with the boss, he started depending on you. One day, due to ill health, he invited you at his place for finishing some urgent work. You reached his house, and before you could ring the bell, you heard shouting noises. नहीं नहीं ये नहीं किया ये किया था क्या ओके फिर से एक बार करेंगे थोड़ा सा नहीं किया है शायद हाँ ओके देखते हैं और एक बार थोड़ा सा You waited for a while. After entering the house, the boss greeted you and explained the work. You were constantly disturbed by the crying of women. Okay, कुछ मैसेज आया मैं उसको डिसमिस कर दे रहा हूँ. Okay. But you were constantly disturbed by the crying of women. At last you inquired with the boss, but his answer did not satisfy you. Next day you were compelled to inquire further in the office and found out that his behavior is very bad at home with his wife. He also bits his wife. His wife is not well educated and is simple women in comparison to her husband. You see that your boss is a nice person in the office, but he is engaged in the domestic violence at home. In such situation, you are left with following options. Analyze each option with its consequences. Okay, first, just ignore the thinking about it because it is the personal matter between. So that's the first option they have given. Second is report the case to the appropriate authority, and third is your own innovative approach towards the situation. Okay, so first two are the two obvious things. One is to ignore it completely because it's a personal matter between the boss and wife. And second is report to the complaint authority. Okay, so I think need not be discussed. Pehla ignore karoge to kya hoga? So obviously those things will come that you are being apathetic towards the problems of women and lot many things can be written there. Second में क्या issue है? Is there any? ऐसे कुछ हुआ नहीं है. Okay. So taking into confidence and then complaining, if it is there. Yes, complaining के क्या consequence? अच्छा, first let's come to the third. What should be the confronting him? Okay. Just take 2 minutes. What are the innovative ways, or apart from first two, what all you can think about, and what should be your ultimate? Okay, out of the three, that also you should write. So take 5 minutes or 2 minutes. Write it. नहीं, write it 2 minutes. हाँ, doubt बताइए. Pardon? Yes, but the case is quite clear in mentioning few of the things. On the next day, he reached to the office and he has found the different details. See, something when the case study is mentioning, अभी मैंने read किया इसलिए आपको समझ में नहीं आया, उसमें काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें explicit mention की रखी हैं, ठीक है? नहीं, आप लिखिए, मतलब 2 मिनट के बाद हम डिस्कस करते हैं, ठीक है? आई विल स्टार्ट विथ यू ओनली. So write whatever the thing you wish to as a innovative approach. Are you done? Yes. Are you done? You? No. सोच रहे हैं. Yes, tell me what are the options? Yes, let her tell. हाँ, juniors. No, but whether that is the reason where she is not educated been the reason for domestic violence? लॉयर को तो हम नहीं पूछेंगे, पहले डाइवर्स के लिए तैयार हो जाओ, पेपर्स कहाँ हैं पूछेंगे वहाँ. ठीक है, एक केस तो आ ही गया. हाँ मतलब विमेन राइट्स इतने सारे हैं. ओके, व्हाई डोंट यू फाइल अ केस? देयर आर डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस केसेस, देयर आर डाइवोर्स केसेस. नहीं, आई एम सेइंग इन जनरल. Lawyers think every person as a new case. Okay. Do you adopt this sort of approach? You never practiced. Okay. You just graduated. But you must be knowing what happens in your fraternity. Yes, बताइए. Yes, rather than confrontation, why not to use the other word? Persuasion? Okay, confronting and persuading. Okay. Yes, बताइए और yes, anybody else? Yes, please. उस एक मूवी याद आया मुझे, वो सलमान खान और करिश्मा कपूर था. मुझे माफ करना वो साई राम कुछ था ना, प्रोग्राम में लेके जाके बैठो एनुअल डे फंक्शन के लिए, बच्चे गाना गाएंगे, फिर आंखों में आंसू आ जाएंगे. Yes, we'll see that. I think. Yes, I'll come to that point also. That's not out of the context. We'll see that what is the impact. Yes, और बताइए. Children, rather than children, you can say that yes, senior family members. पहले ही तो वही तो है lawyer का approach कि पहले ही. See, the thing is, yes, you are right. We are going to say any other innovative approaches. One is okay. Let me take randomly, then we'll organize. One is about making her aware of her rights. That there is no reason for you to tolerate the domestic violence. You can fight the case if it is obviously this sort of domestic violence is a serious case, and certainly it cannot be continued under any pretext. Okay, violence has to be. So she should be made aware of the rights. Second is, yes. Very good. Yes. Yes. Bringing both of them to the negotiating table and acting, playing a role of catalyst. Okay, but catalyst only. Mediator. Yes, हंस रहे वहाँ पे लोग, क्या मतलब पता नहीं. Catalyst is catalyst. You are solving the matter between. परदेश मूवी में शाहरुख खान कैटलिस्ट था, देखा है परदेश मूवी? फिर कैटलिस्ट में ठीक है, जाने दो. द पॉइंट इज यू शुड बी yes, that's in fact, see, leave the point aside. The first thing, see, the thing is, these are the domestic cases. Domestic cases certainly has a legal solution, but that should be reserved as a last option. Okay, because family, marriages, these are very important things. They have the emotional, psychological, social, there are other implications also. So as maximum as possible, okay, you should try to resolve the things amicably. Okay, and amicably here is obviously if there is a certain reasons because of which domestic violence is there, you can like bring them to the negotiating table and resolve. Before that, the first thing is here. The first thing can be, since you got to know about it, you can, since you have a very good rapport with the your boss, so you can persuade him. Discuss him, persuade him, okay, and keep the follow-up of the things. Now, this is the first thing. Maybe you do not require anything. If you persuade, and it's quite possible boss may agree also, because otherwise he seems to be a very gentleman. Okay, because the descriptions that has been mentioned. So first is about persuasion, persuading the boss. That should be the thing. Second is negotiation. Okay, negotiation in a sense that this things bringing both of them together and trying to resolve whatever the issues and the conflicts that is there. There may be grievances against each other, there may be misunderstandings against each other, or there may be another serious issues because of which the things are happening. So that can be also been done. Apart from that, you can also use persuasion and warning also go hand in hand. Persuade it, and then you can also give the warning. Okay, that is where if you will not follow, then you will feel the dire consequence. I am going to file the complaint. You are my boss, but these are something which cannot be acceptable. So both persuasion and warning, negotiation. Now in this you can explore many options. अगर ये नहीं हो रहा है and still domestic violence is continued, then obviously you have to show a solidarity with the women. Since she is uneducated, you can make her aware of her rights, that she cannot get harassed, okay, under the pretext of any other reasons. So she should made aware of rights. You should show solidarity with her. You should help her in filing the complaint to the concerned authority. Maybe an FIR is required if it is a serious case. Maybe a women commission. You can have a formal complaint. Maybe a help of some NGOs which can help her in getting the justice. But that should be the last. That is where we are talking about completely separate and confrontation, where there cannot, there is no reconciliation of conflict. Reconciliation of conflict should not be jumped before, okay, before exhausting the other means of negotiation. Yes, any other thing? No? You cannot counsel. Yes, उसमें काफी सारा, see the persuasion में, persuasion techniques जो हमने दिखा था, who says what to whom. So उसमें काफी सारा इन्होंने जो बोला है कि family can be involved. See, every person's listen to somebody else. Okay, कोई ना कोई होगा, उसकी mother, father होगे, उसका कोई senior होगा, उसका कोई friend होगा. So you need to find out that what is the most effective way through which the gentleman can be persuaded. Maybe it can be his mother and father, maybe a friend, maybe a senior. Okay, so the effective way of persuasion. Second thing is, in persuasion in all such cases, there is something called as demonstration effect. Demonstration effect में है कि जैसे आपने assuming that you are also married, dinner के लिए बुलाया, आपकी wife एकदम प्यार से मतलब लेके आ रही है, थोड़ा सा आप उसके हंसी मजाक, तो उनको लगना चाहिए कि अरे I am missing something in my family. तो थोड़ा सा वो भी यूज किया जा सकता है. हाँ, इमोशनल, हाँ मतलब इमोशनल कॉर्ड स्ट्रक किए जा सकते. ये परसुएशन का है ही है वो. Persuasion is not the method of coercive methods through which you try to impose something. It is through the democratic means through which you have to convince. Or you can take the couple to the movie. उस वो मूवी में वो दिखा रहा है डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस हो रहा है तो कैसी सिचुएशन है, दूसरा एक फैमिली है तो कैसा है, हम साथ साथ है, तो थोड़ा सा उनको लगना चाहिए कि अब इमरान हाशमी का मूवी देखे जाओगे तो वो होगा. तो ऐसा नहीं है. तो यस, डेमोन्स्ट्रेट, अरे ये परसुएशन में लिखना है आपको, आपका आंसर हाउ इट विल बी डिफरेंट फ्रॉम द अदर्स. सो यू कैन राइट हियर, दीज आर द इनोवेटिव थिंग्स थ्रू विच यू कैन reconcile the conflicting interests between the family. So everything should not be thought from the legal point of view. And when all the options are exhausted, and if the violence continued, then there is no option left but to take the last point. So you can say that I will try and bring the reconciliation should be my approach. And if it is not getting, then obviously the complaint has to be filed in any case. Yes, that's another case. Break lena hai ya phir we should continue? Threatening, obviously filing the complaint against him, threatening ke liye. Yes, certainly. Anything that is required for bringing the justice. See, the thing is, threatening is there, and because I am threatened, I should not help her out. Then that shows you are a cowardice, that you do not stand so strong on your values. It's only a matter of convenience for you. Yes, certainly. Certainly, she has a right, obviously. If she is not interested and she's feeling that there is no point of return hi nahi hai, matlab that thing has already passed. So first, conciliation mein both the sides, grievances of both the sides requires to be addressed. And if the things are manageable, obviously this is what happens. Okay, divorce cases में भी ऐसे नहीं है. The India में बोला जाता है कि because there is a lot of sanctity to the marriages and the family, so lawyer should explore the option of settlement first. Okay, if it is not happening, then बट वही है, स्पिरिट अपसेंट रहता है कि 6 महीने आप गांव में जाके आ जाओ. हाँ. यस यस सर्टन. यस बिकॉज सुप्रीम कोर्ट्स के भी गाइडलाइंस है उसमें. ओके. यस विल टेक सर्टन अदर केसेस. और कुछ है तो बताओ, अदरवाइज आई विल टेक सम मोर केसेस इसमें से. ब्रेक लेना है या क्या? 5 minutes break. Yes, few of the questions. Uh, you people are writing the mains test series also. ये जो vision का चलता है regular mains वाला बड़ा वाला mini test. नहीं, the other one 15 test or 25 test वाला. No, not right. Next year after mains you will write prelims. लड्डू खा रहे हो? चॉकलेट? Yes, anybody from Karnataka? Ugadi festival कौन celebrate कर? Ugadi, हाँ तेलुगु? Nobody is from Andhra Pradesh? Telangana? She's from Punjab, I know. Punjab से है ना? You are from. Where are sweets? Sweets कहाँ पे हैं? हाँ? सिद्धि रिचुअल. हाँ बहुत सारे रिचुअल है. गुड़ी पाड़वा, उगाड़ी, उगादी. So I brought lot of chocolates yesterday. Nobody was here. चलो चलो. You are posted as a sub-divisional magistrate in the state. Okay. Yes. Acha. Okay, let's pay an attention. See, I'll just read. You are SDM of a district. As a SDM, you have the responsibility to conduct the interview and select the candidate for the post of ASHA. ASHA, what is ASHA? Yes, accredited social health activist under the NRHM जो है. Health worker, if you are not understanding, there is a post of health worker, that is women obviously, the ASHA worker in a district. On the day you are conducting the interview, you are approached by the MLA of the local constituency who asks you to choose a particular lady for the position by overlooking the other candidates. Okay, X person is there, he is asking you to select a particular lady. On checking her document, you find that she is eligible in all the respects. This is a very tricky. Okay, you have found that you have checked the documents and she is all eligible in all the respects. MLA implores that she should be given the post on compassionate ground as her husband was a soldier who died in a war, okay, martyred in a war. Some of the options, okay, forget about the options. So are you understanding? There are two things here. One is you are taking an interviews for the post of ASHA. MLA is calling and asking to select a particular lady by overlooking the other candidate. When you found and checked the document, she was eligible in other respects. And also MLA has informed you that she is obviously the wife of or husband died as a soldier. So what should be your approach in this case? Write your course of action by giving the reasons. Okay, what you are going to do. 1, 2, 3 options and which one you will follow. Take 5 minutes just. I hope question is clear. एक बार फिर से. कहाँ लॉस्ट है आप? you are a district SDM of a district, you are conducting the interview for health worker, women health worker, that is called ASHA under NRHM. MLA has called you to select a particular lady overlooking the other. Now you have checked her document. You have found she is eligible for particular post. MLA also told you that she is a wife of the soldier who lost in recent battle. So you should give her a job. What should be your course of action? What are the options, different options, and course of action? Particular lady, she is a wife of a soldier who has lost the life in recent battle. MLA is asking you to favor the lady and select her on compassionate ground, overlooking the others. Okay. Now, what you are going to do in this situation? So, are you done? Yes. How do you see? You need to introduce the case sometimes. Okay. Introduction में मैंने बताया था कैसे कैसे किया जा सकता है. एक तो you can discuss what are the ethical issues of the case. Second, you can talk about different ethical dilemmas. Okay, what are the different things that are going. Or third, it can be different stakeholders and different issues involved with the stakeholders. Okay, there can be 2-3 ways of introducing the case. One way is you discuss different ethical issue. Second is identify different stakeholders and discuss their issues. Third is you can directly simply say that what are the conflicting things. And then, because that will help you also in writing the answers. Yes. Tell me, what are the options and how do you proceed? Civil servant, SDM. Papers are also showing that she is eligible. Yes, you tell. Very good. See, the thing is, there's a catch here. Paper shows that she is eligible. Okay, all of us are eligible to write the prelims exam. Okay. There is a difference in between being eligible and being the best out of the lot. Are you understanding? So do not get trapped. ये इसमें ये हो रहा है कि एक confusion हो सकता है. There is a compassionate ground also, and you are following the objectivity also because it says that papers are also fine. She is also eligible, but whether she is the best out of the slot, that's the question. Okay, there must be certain procedure. Out of 100 applications, how 10 Asha can be selected on the basis of certain due process, so that the best out of the 1,000, 10 can be selected. समझ में आ रहा है? Okay, so that's, yes, you can introduce this case by saying there is a case where there is a conflict between the compassion on one side versus what we used to call empathy and compassion on one side versus objectivity and merit on the other side. Objectivity, merit or impartiality. ठीक है? Are you understanding? Objectivity, merit and impartiality, either of the three, एक ही है meaning, on the one side, or fair procedure on one side, and second is compassion on the other side. This is an introduction, you can say. Yes, what can be the different options now? Now this becomes a very easy now, if once you understand the crux. Yes, go ahead.
There would be like, no nepotism done in the selection or no bias decisions should be taken while selecting her. If she is like meritorious and select her, be empathetic, but then at the same time, complain about that MLA and, tell him, like, give a strict response because
ठीक है.
he's interfering in the official work.
You can also mention that giving a job just like that would be disrespect to the
अरे
like husband who lost her life in the battle. So like if she comes from such a family that just giving it like that would downplay the value
नहीं, such a family means
which was displayed in the work.
no, there is a financial assistance, मतलब there are provisions through. हाँ. Yes, very good.
And second, if it doesn't, you can check. You can see if
Yes,
there might be other things.
very good. Good point. आपका भी सही है, आपके ऊपर. हाँ.
All the candidates, this will also create a feeling of
Yes.
unfairness that
Yes.
just because of a war.
Yes, sometimes you have to think, you have to write in assertive manner why you are going to choose whatever you are doing. Like, say for example, if you say that I will follow the due process because I will maintain the merit, I will maintain the impartiality, I will do this and that. इसी बात को दूसरे एंगल से भी लिखा जा सकता है. Why I will not choose the her even when it is compassionate, but it will give the wrong signal and it will distort the whole process of selection in the future also. It will set a wrong precedence that there is always a possibility of diluting the process. ठीक है? So दो वे में लिखा जा सकता है. Why we are going to follow the due process? Because merit, objectivity, impartiality, fairness, that has to be observed. And if you are giving a chance to someone just on the compassionate ground, ignoring the other things, it will be sort of injustice, unfair to the other eligible also. It may hamper the efficiency also. Okay. Yes. Good. तो वो second point है हमारा. See, the thing is what I have mentioned just now when I was discussing the themes. This is a case of a personal cost dilemma or right versus right dilemma. Right versus right, it's very obvious. Okay, both things are desirable. Compassion is also desirable and objectivity is also desirable. In all such cases, first of all, you try to find out middle path. But here it is not possible. These are mutually exclusive. Either you can pick up the compassion or you can pick up the impartiality. Now, since we are picking up the impartiality, what I have mentioned is do not ignore the other part. Okay. Now you can see that I'll follow the due process, whatever the reason you want to give, that is impartiality, etc. Plus you can say that I will not use only the compassion ground for selecting this particular thing because it will give the wrong message. But then you come that the situation of this lady is precarious and we should empathize with her, we should compassionate with her. Now what I am going to do is, first I will check and find out whether there is any provision for a sort of reservation and notification that 2 ASHA worker can be reserved, 2 seats can be reserved for such kind of people. Is there any criteria? Is there any rule? If the rule is there and if she can be fit into that, I'll go ahead and even select her as an ASHA worker, if the provisions is there. If there is no provision, I will try and find out what all other provisions are there for the situation like this, where she can be fitted into. Are you understanding? कि कुछ ना कुछ हर departments में रहते हैं अलग अलग. So you will find it out. Third thing is, if no vacancy is available, in the short term measures, I will provide her financial assistance, look after मतलब whatever the kind of जो children के लिए assistance लगेगा, medical assistance or any other kind of financial support that is required, that will be given to her, and I'll try and arrange, I'll try to find out that whether she can get some sort of better employment for her. समझ में आ रहा है? So पहले आप इस procedure को बताओ कि why it is important to follow the rules, regulations. You can say that as a bureaucrat and civil servant, objectivity, impartiality, rules, these are important. This cannot be flouted just because MLA has given the call. इसमें और भी लिखा जा सकता है because we have just found out this case study. I'll make the MLA understand that the rules are very clear cut. I'll first find it out if she can be fitted into as per the rule. If she cannot be fitted into as per the rule, I'll inform the MLA about it that she cannot be fit into. But you will assure him that you will take due care of her if she can be fitted into some other category. If not, then some sort of financial assistance or social assistance can be provided to her. Also, some NGO also you can write in temporary way some sort of assistance. So this is a win-win situation you have to create whenever there is a right versus right dilemma. Okay, your answer is half complete even if your answer is correct, that you follow the due process and you live it. But then it shows that you are sort of जो बोलते हैं ना status quoist attitude, a very rigid attitude. We have discussed that objectivity, democratic attitude and bureaucratic attitude. You simply ignore it. Okay, you are not, there is no rule, you go back home. That's a totally an apathy towards the situation. ठीक है, ऐसे काफ़ी सारे cases होंगे. We have seen many cases, तो ये right versus right dilemma के case. ठीक है. Now there is another slightly different case. Okay, I'll read it out. You are a managing director of a multinational company that prides on hiring the people from the diverse background. Yes, आपको कुछ है add करना? Okay. Multinational company that prides on hiring the people from the diverse background. The company also chooses multiple projects under the CSR that are geared towards the social inclusion and empowerment of vulnerable section. Okay, CSR work is going on. Miss X, who works in your office, tells you that she has been diagnosed with HIV. Okay, you are a MD and a lady is telling you, Miss X is telling you that she has been diagnosed with HIV. Do not have the prejudices, okay? It happened due to the malpractice by the medical practitioner who reused the contaminated syringe. That led Miss X to contract the disease. The company has strict policies about the toleration and the company has a strict policies about the toleration, and you ensure Miss X that she can continue with her job in a company without facing any sort of discrimination, on which the company is quite clear. Few days after the revelation, Miss X angrily submits her resignation letter. She states that she has faced the discrimination at the workplace every day after the revelation. Her colleagues are hesitant to eat lunch with her. They make sure they do not drink water from the same source. The female in the office comment on her marital status. She is also asked to sit separately during the departmental discussions, a sort of isolation and untouchability and this sort of things, because she intend to sue the company for the mental harassment. Now she has decided to sue the company for. If she takes the steps, public image of the company will get malign and the non-discriminatory policies will be questioned. The following are some of the options suggested to you in dealing with the situation as a managing director. Evaluate the merit and demerit of this option. Okay, that is, first is accept her resignation and suggest some compensation package for her so that she cannot sue you. Okay, accept her resignation and some sort of compensation. Second, persuade her not to submit her resignation and transfer her to some another department. Third is, you ask her to continue her job. Take a strict action against the colleagues who discriminated against her. Also, without necessarily restricting to above options, write your course of action. Okay, let's discuss straightforward. I hope the point is very clear. Okay, she has been diagnosed with HIV, and after revelation, we have seen there is a lot of discrimination. Okay, that is what we see commonly: eating, drinking water, sitting together, discussion. So everything, she has been isolated. The third thing is, now she is filing the complaint. Okay, she is thinking of filing the complaint against the company, and the repercussions are obviously it will tarnish the image of the company. So as a managing director, since she has now decided to tender the resignation and file the complaint, what should be your way forward? So first, they have given that accept the resignation and give her a compensation. Merit demerit bataiye. Okay, we will discuss that whether it should be accepted or not. Merit demerit. Okay. Company, yes, more of a managing director's point of view, merit will be that company's image will not be tarnished. That's the primary merit from manager's point of view. Demerit, that's the demerit. No, she is resigning now. You are saying that, okay, if you are facing the discrimination, give the resignation, you take money, do not file the complaint, obviously. So what is a merit for managing director? Consequential ethics, for the larger economic interest, you are saying that, okay. But the second thing is, against discrimination, you are not speaking. In fact, you are in a way, yes, accepting it or escapist tendencies. Okay.
And moreover, it's really dehumanizing because we are again isolating and giving this kind of behavior a boost.
Yes, certainly. Okay, indirectly, there are a lot many impacts. Okay, you are silent about social discrimination that is happening on the basis of particular disease. Okay, we have the caste discrimination, religious discrimination. There is also discrimination like HIV. We see that many a times this tuberculosis patient, leprosy patient, HIV patient, cancer patient faces lot of discrimination. Okay. Second is, so option one is obviously has to be rejected, but you have to write merit and demerit. Second is, you ask her to continue with her job and take strict, Second is, you persuade her to submit her resignation not to submit her resignation and transfer to another department. Yes, temporarily is slightly better than the first, but it is not the solution. Because again, you are just trying to quick fix solution, okay, rather than taking a strong action and making the people understand that such discrimination should not be there. So again, it's not a very full-hearted attempt. It is more of a diplomatic attempt so that she will not face the maybe in new area and she will not file the complaint. Third is you asked her to continue job, take a strict action against the colleague who discriminated against her. Okay, so that seems to be a very correct answer. But here the question is saying, without necessarily restricting to above option, write the full course of action. What all measures that you can take. Okay, what will be your course of action? So just. Yes. Yes. Yes, very good, huh? Yes. So basically, first thing for sure, no resignation should be accepted. Okay. So you should be convinced with the fact that there will be a no discrimination, some sort of counseling, psychological counseling, showing in solidarity with her, and assuring her that henceforth she will not face any discrimination. So first, try and convince her. Okay, do not accept the resignation. Counsel her, support her, assure her that such discrimination will not continue. And assure also, if such things will continue, the company will come up with the very strict guidelines. The second is coming to the those people who are discriminating. Try and find out who are those people who are involved in discrimination. Persuade them, warn them. Okay, both the things. That if they persuade them, see, it's quite possible because there is an implicit another issue within this. Lack of social awareness about the disease, how it is being spread. जो दिखाया जाता है कि HIV खाने से नहीं फैलता है, ऐसे नहीं फैलता है, कैसे फैलता है, वो चार बातें ये छोड़ के नहीं फैलता. हाँ, यस, अरे कॉमन से वही बोल. हाँ, ठीक है. So that sort of awareness is required. See, it's quite possible some people may be aware, but still they discriminate because there is stigma attached. Okay, stigma attached because here it has also been mentioned, somebody is questioning her marital status also. It means that there is a character assassination also. So this is something which is very different from not having a awareness about it. It's something you are prejudiced with someone and you are trying to question her character and etc. So in such cases, obviously the strict action has to be taken into account. So you should not miss the smaller points also. So on a short term, you can say that those people who are involved in such things, I will warn them, I'll take a strict action on them also. Maybe a sort of suspension if it is required, you can go ahead with that if they are not listening. Then in long term, you can think that there is a seminar can be conducted where such social awareness can be spread so that people will understand that such sort of isolation of HIV patient has nothing to do with the spreading of the disease. If that is the fear, because of, see, isolation can be because of two reasons. One is out of the fear of catching the HIV. And second is maybe it is a social prejudice. Okay, so both the cases has to be tackled. Then code of conduct and code of ethics of your organization and the behavior that can be revised. People can be sensitized. Apart from that, in the long term, you can also say that the CSR money which is there, I will try and invest some CSR for creating the awareness and for some cause of HIV patients. Okay, so that's how your approach should be. That in certain cases, it's quite possible that economic losses and this consideration will be there, but this corporate governance should also follow. So like you can say that this social stigma attached with the disease is a serious concern for the society. So in the long run, there has to be certain solutions about it and how you are going to do that. Okay, is it fine? Any other thing that you can suggest? Is this an interesting question again? Okay. You are an officer in charge of an important railway junction. Officer in charge of an important railway junction, which is an artery of trade and commerce. Artery is an important route of trade and commerce. A peasant disturbances have been brewing up in your district for the last few days, and their discussion with the political peasants. Okay, their protest is going on for certain issues, and their discussion with the political and district leadership has borne no fruits, and it has come to the stage that now they are calling the protest by organizing sit on the railway tracks near the station. Okay, so some issue is there. The negotiation with the political leaders and the district leaders have failed, and now they have decided to intensify protest by sitting on the railway tracks. Okay. They have thereby succeeded in blocking the movements of all the trains. This disruption is causing the significant harassment of the passengers waiting at the platform as well. Okay, so now the question is, what will be your immediate course of action? Second is, how can the emotional intelligence play a role in this particular situation in tackling the issue? And third is, what are the steps that you will take so that such things will not be repeated in future? So there are three things: immediate course of action, the importance of emotional intelligence in tackling this situation, and third is how you can prevent such things in future. So take 5 minutes and just write something about it. Question is clear? Okay. Okay, I'll ask a very simple question. Is the protest right a way of addressing the grievances? I have asked very simple question. Is the protest a way of redressal of grievances? Can protest? Okay. Yes. Thank you so much, at least coming with this statement. और किसी का कुछ आंसर है? Is the protest legally banned in India? Yes. आपको थोड़ा सा पॉलिटी का ज्ञान चेक कर रहा था मैं, ठीक है? See, there are different things. Peaceful protests are not banned. Okay. So if something which is not affecting the daily life of people and asking for the justice very peacefully, okay, trying to make the government realize your demands, there is nothing wrong or illegal. Forget about right and wrong. We are going beyond that also. Okay, so freedom of speech and expression does not say that protests are completely, absolutely banned or you cannot. In fact, there is a procedure. If you want to go for the protest, you have to inform the civil administration, local administration. In fact, in certain cases, police protection is also been provided to the protesters. So do not jump directly ki protest is something banned. What we are essentially here, the crux of the question is, somebody is sitting on the railway track. Now, you should not relate protest has to be only one form that's sitting on the railway track and stopping it from happening. Now, whether this is justified or not. So, there has to be a very clear-cut understanding what is justifiable and legally permissible and what is not justifiable and legally or it is illegal. This is a one side of the coin. Okay, और भी इसमें काफी सारे हैं. Okay, yes, go ahead. यस दिस जाट अधिवेशन, गुज्जर अधिवेशन, बहुत सारे अधिवेशन है, उसमें ये सब चीजें हैं. बाकी ऑक्युपाइंग द स्ट्रीट्स इन एवरी नाउ एंड देन. यस. What was the first question? Acha, you try for 2 minutes more. 3 questions. थोड़ा सा सोचते जाओ. Do not try and find out extreme answers. Okay. Yes. लिख रहे हो कुछ या खाली सुन रहे हो? या प्रीलिम ने पूरा दिमाग मतलब वो करके रखा हुआ है? हाँ, यही कारण है क्या? ठीक है, आपको दवा बता देते हैं फिर प्रीलिम्स की. कुछ बताना है क्या? ठीक है, ये क्वेश्चन कर. यस, आप कुछ बोल ही नहीं रहे. व्हाट्स रॉन्ग विथ यू? दाढ़ी भी बढ़ा रखी है आपने क्या? देवदास वाला तो सीन नहीं हुआ है कुछ? हाँ, नहीं आजकल ट्रेंड है. Okay. Beard is not the sign of Devdas now. These days. Masculinity. Chalo, let's see. Are you done? Yes, what will be the course of immediate, what are the concerns? See, the question here is written, asked from the point of view of the officer who is responsible for the railway junction. So concern has to be addressed from that point of view. As an officer, what are your responsibilities towards different stakeholders? Yes. Good. So can you do that? Railway Junction Authority protest के लिए committee बना सकता है. You have a point. In fact, that's the spirit of the answer. See, हर एक का job, there is a division of labor in bureaucracy. Okay. यहाँ पे क्वेश्चन केवल आपको रेलवे के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से पूछा गया है. तो आपको आपकी ड्यूटी क्या है कि रेलवे की जो ट्रैफिक है सीमलेस फ्लो होना चाहिए. कमर्शियल फ्लो, पैसेंजर फ्लो, ट्रैक शुड बी क्लियर्ड, पैसेंजर शुड नॉट be put to the distress. Okay, these are your concerns. So if somebody is sitting on the track, okay, your first immediate responsibility to clear the track, because it is also written that it's a very important artery for commerce, trade, passengers, etc. So try and persuade the protesters that you cannot sit on the track and you have to find some other peaceful ways. You are also not making comment, your protest is wrong, your issue is wrong, your peasant issue, reservation. You cannot comment on that. That's not your mandate. Your mandate is simply about the track. Okay, persuasion first. Okay, please make them understand the financial losses, economic losses, the distress that will happen to the passengers. So this way you can convince, make an emotional appeal. Always it has to be a persuasion. If persuasion fail, warn them that this is illegal. Now this is certainly, obviously there will be a law such sort of protest will not be permissible. It is certainly an illegal method. Okay, so ask them that if you are uh, not yes, that is moving away from the track, you will face the dire consequences of it. Okay, and this is the two way of doing it. Or you ask the police and help them in assisting and getting the track clear. Are you understanding the three things? Persuasion, warning, asking for the assistance to get clear. At the same time, now what she is saying is, yes, you need that some sort of engagement has to be there. So you call the district magistrate or the political class that these issues has to be somewhat, because you are facing the crisis at the railway track, passengers are in distress, commerce is getting affected. So try and find out some solution, immediate quick fix solutions. Find out subcommittee. You cannot do it. You can only speak to the higher authorities who are responsible for this. Are you understanding? Now this is the what are the immediate steps. Apart from that, any other immediate step is required? There is another important stakeholder there, passengers, because of यहाँ पे already दे रखा था. क्या लिखा है यहाँ पे? Protesters sit on the, they have already succeeded in blocking the movements of all the trains. Disruption is causing the significant harassment to the passengers waiting for the platform. So is there any responsibility? Yes, certainly. As a station officer responsible, you also look that the passengers who are in distress, some sort of help that is required in distress that can be provided. So that also has to be taken into account. Okay. Now, question number second, that is how the emotional intelligence will have its role to play. Yes, we will avoid the forceful action. See, the thing is, emotional intelligence, like putting yourselves into the shoes of others and trying to understand the other situation. Maybe the situation of the peasant, जैसे कि नर्मदा बचाव है या फिर लैंड एक्विजिशन है या फिर ट्राइबल मूवमेंट है या कोई भी इशू हो सकता है. You need to be sensitive and you need to make them understand. So rather than going for this emotional, because if you try it can go counterproductive also. दे में वो पूरा उखाड़ ही देंगे, वो ट्रैक ही उखाड़ देंगे, फिर तो बहुत गड़बड़ है. फिर गुज्जर आर वेरी स्किलफुल इन दिस. ओके, वो पूरा ट्रैक ही मतलब बाहर ही मेट्रो तक आ गए. अभी वो कौन सा प्रोटेस्ट जाट वाला था, शायद जाट वाला था. ठीक है, नहीं गुज्जर भी हुआ है पहले, आई थिंक अर्लियर. हाँ. So the point is emotional. See, whenever there is a crowd management, whenever there is you are dealing with the people who are adopting the irrational methods, you need to be very emotionally intelligent while handling the cases. So you can say that emotional intelligence, because the protester, they have their grievances and need to be very sensitive about their grievances. So there has to be a certain method through which you can convey the message. Any other case where it is required? You yourself, see, emotional intelligence work at two levels. Understanding the emotions of one and controlling it, understanding emotions of others and trying to manage the interpersonal. At your individual level also emotional intelligence matter? Yes, because there will be a lot of pressure on you, because the administration, authorities, public, everybody will be shouting, you may be under distress. So emotional intelligence will also help you in tackling the emotions at individual level, and you will not take any knee-jerk reaction to it. समझ में आ रहा है? So that's also. Third thing is passenger and their emotional outburst. There may be an absolute chaos at platform. Okay, people will be running haywire across the platform, and they are also out of frustration trying to vandalize the things, etc., etc. Okay, so that's also emotional intelligence management of the passengers, emotional intelligence of the protester, emotional intelligence of your own self. So this is how, whenever there is a case of crowd distress, you should bring this point of emotional intelligence. Okay. Next is, what are the steps that you take in such situations so that it will not repeat in future? Now this is very interesting, because as I have mentioned that in the long term, it's more about the issues related with the political class and civil district administration who are going to resolve the problem. How, as your individual capacity, you can stop, what measures can you think of in the future? social impact assessment. As a railway officer, what you can do? Nothing. Okay, that is one thing. See, the thing is, first of all, taking a strong action against those who have continued to block the protest, because it was illegal. Legally you can take an action against them, so that in future course this message will be very clear to the people that you cannot resort to sitting on the railway track as a means of hijacking the government. Huh? Arm twisting the government, arm twisting or any other tactics cannot be employed. Okay, so that has to be. If you will not punish them, so obviously, in fact, it will embolden the spirit. It will set in precedent. Okay, so this tactics can be used, and these are very effective tactics because this paralyze the government, this paralyze everything, and then the government surrender. So there is a need to give a very clear-cut signal, even when the protest, which is a peaceful and legal one, is permissible, but non-peaceful and illegal tactics cannot be employed. Okay, so that is one thing. Second is you need to create an awareness about this distinction that even if the protests are constitutionally and Article 19 is valid, but such means of which interrupt the functioning of the day-to-day functioning of government cannot be employed. Are you understanding these two things? So one is the deterrence effect of the action that you are going to take. It will create message. And second is, in order to make the people understand, you can obviously tell them. In conclusion, you can write that in a democracy where the protest has its role, do not like write off the protest altogether. Because in a democracy, the dissenting voices are important in order to make the government accountable. So there is nothing wrong if it is a peaceful and if it is not causing a disruption. But it does not give you license to adopt to the illegal methods which can disrupt the life and paralyze the government. Okay, so that has to be the concluding remark. And you can say that as an responsible officer, I will try to solve the issues at immediate, ये जो पहला questions दिया है, immediate measures and some long-term measures so that such things will not be happen in future. So the answer has to be a holistic one. आपको थोड़ा सा हैबिट लगानी पड़ेगी कि शॉर्ट टर्म, लॉन्ग टर्म, कोर, पेरीफेरी, ये जो हाउ टू रिजॉल्व केस स्टडीज में काफ़ी पॉइंट्स बताए थे, हिंट्स दैट हाउ टू फाइंड आउट डिफरेंट एंगल्स ऑफ द केस. क्या हो गया? यस, शेयर विथ अस व्हाटएवर द जोक दैट you have come across. Should we conclude or should we take any case? बहुत सारे हो गए वैसे. Yes, one thing is that in 2016's paper we have discussed there was a separate class for it. Nobody from your batch turned up. What is the reason? 2016 का पेपर ठीक है, YouTube पे अपलोड है, ठीक है, YouTube पे मैंने लिया हुआ है, आपके टीचर्स ने, ठीक है. So please go through that. 2016 paper has been completely discussed from A to theory questions, and in fact if you have seen the paper, almost all the questions we have discussed in the class, जो class में सिखाए थे, almost those questions appeared. Internal security के time में भी मैंने बताया था, ठीक है. Second thing is you must watch those the full video because you will learn lot many other things also theory part में. Second thing is 2015 has also been uploaded YouTube प्लेटफॉर्म पे या फिर आपके ऑनलाइन प्लेटफॉर्म जो बोलते हैं. आई थिंक इट्स ऑन द यूट्यूब. सो उसमें भी 2015 का पेपर, 16 का पेपर है, 15 and 16. That will complete because there are lot many other case studies. Although we have discussed lot many previous years question paper, but if you want the full scale coverage, you can go through it. That will complete your preparation. Second thing is from here onwards you may be writing many more mini test and this test. So have a collection of case studies, have a collection of different theory questions, and the same you will find that if you have done last 4-5 years questions very religiously, same things, same themes are getting repeated. तो इसके कुछ एक 5-10 पेजेस का एक फार्मूलेज बना लो कि ऐसे ऐसे केस स्टडीज में क्या है, अनटचेबिलिटी में कैसा है, राइट वर्सेस राइट डायलेमा क्या है, विमेन डिस्क्रिमिनेशन, कास्ट डिस्क्रिमिनेशन, जैसे एटीट्यूडनल चेंज में हमने काफ़ी सारा किया हुआ था. So those things, make a consolidated list of all those things and follow those tactics. Okay. In ethics paper, you should not go reading more and more and more. Okay. You should think more and write more. Okay. Reading what we have done in the class, in last few classes, 2 different sessions, theory part and case study part, that's more than enough. Even in the governance also, it's more than enough. Okay, you should not feel insecure that I need to read more text and etc. No, that's enough, more than enough. But you need to apply this knowledge while reading the magazines and the newspapers. You need to think, lateral thinking जिसको बोलते हैं, critical thinking बोलते हैं, and you should also write, because in this paper your language matters, your precision matter, your vocabulary matters. This is one paper where it is going to count. Because if you are beating around the bush and using very vague words, so that will not fetch you more marks. Okay, so marks अगर आपको लाने हैं तो इसमें इसके ऊपर है. वैसे ये this is something which is very close to the essay writing also and social issues also. So if you have done this paper well, in fact that will help you in your interview preparation also, because ये एक bureaucratic perspective आपको lifelong लगेगा ही. Okay, whenever you will come across. So you need to be a very politically correct, constitutionally correct, legally correct. So in that case also it is otherwise important too. Okay, so these are the some of the suggestions how to approach for this paper. Or baki whatever things that you will come across after the prelims also. If you face any issue, then you can obviously get back to me. I think I have given you the email ID in the security class. अगर जिन्होंने नहीं किया हुआ है उसमें, हाँ, फोन नंबर भी लिख सकते हो अगर चाहिए तो, है ना? हाँ, दिया है. तो मेल पे नहीं लिखना होगा. हाँ, व्हाट्सअप नंबर भी एक ही है. फेसबुक, व्हाट्सअप, ट्विटर, यही सब मेल है, एक ही. फेक आइडेंटिटीज नहीं है कोई. हाँ, 9013297783. ओके, और आपका नाम और वो लिखो, मतलब कौन सा बैच है. हाँ, यस, RB1, RB2, VisionIAS वगैरह वगैरह. ठीक है. एंड डू नॉट से दैट you are online, you are not replying. ठीक है, I will reply at my ease. ठीक है. So that's leave it. Or any kind of problem, if you have questions at any point of time, you can get connected. Baki, if you want anything additional in addition to what I have explained, or if you have any queries, please ask. अभी पूछ लो. Yes, on online I never came across मतलब this people. तो उनके लिए भी थैंक यू सो मच. अच्छा, आपका भी बैच आज लास्ट है, तो ऑल द बेस्ट फॉर यू ऑल्सो. प्रीलिम्स, सी द थिंग इज दिस इज हाई टाइम दैट नाउ इट शुड बी कंप्लीटली अ प्रीलिम्स ओरिएंटेड अप्रोच. तो थोड़ा सा अभी मार्च, अप्रैल, मई, जून, इट्स क्वाइट अ टाइम. अप्रैल इज कमिंग. हाँ, अप्रैल, मई, जून, 2.5 months. Those, if they are thinking that they are too late, so I would like to assure that you are not that late. Okay, 2.5 months is sufficient enough to crack the prelims if you work day in and day out from here onwards also. Okay, if you have started thinking next attempt देखा जाएगा, इस attempt में थोड़ा सा try करके देखते हैं, this first attempt, so that should not be the approach. Okay, अभी भी काफी time है, and winner और loser में इसी time का difference होता है. Okay, so if you sit well, if you have good resources, थोड़ा सा filter out कर लो what is good, what is not good, और बाकी सब जो है papers थोड़ा सा solve करते रहो. Current affairs, last year it has been asked, so do not ignore that part also. ठीक है. बाकी कुछ special, बाकी ethics छोड़ के, internal security छोड़ के भी कुछ अगर issues है तो you can ask. Okay, you can get connected on mail, Facebook, Twitter पे नहीं है, लेकिन बाकी इंस्टाग्राम पे भी क्वेश्चन डाल सकते हैं. ठीक है, ऐसे नहीं है टैग. ठीक है. हाँ, कोरा पे हूँ, पर मतलब दिस डेज थोड़ा सा इनएक्टिव हूँ. हाँ, क्या? हाँ हाँ, पूछो पूछो। पूछो पूछो। अरे इतना क्या हेजिटेशन है? Yes, any other doubt? Thank you so much for it was yes, good experience for me, good learning for me. और कुछ फीडबैक है, क्रिटिकल फीडबैक भी दे सकते हो, ऐसे कुछ नहीं है बताओ ये नहीं पढ़ाया, ये ऐसा नहीं था वगैरह वगैरह, कुछ कंप्लेन है? नहीं नहीं, ब्लॉक नहीं करूंगा, ठीक है। ब्लॉक ये है कि रेडिकल, आई आई डोंट लाइक रेडिकल, ठीक है। हाँ, एनी एनी राइट, कौन सा भी एक्सट्रीम है, I don't like it all. Okay, so do not get enter into that sort of disagreement. Okay, that's not the platform to be discussed. Okay, all the best. Wish you all the best once again. Okay, thank you so much.